jump
because
jump
I work.
if I may, because you guys got me on something that Rem, from you to Jake to now Chris. You know how I am, Rem. I am not only am I a male therapist, which is obviously a female dominated field, but as far as like big five personality traits, as a therapist, comparatively, I run high on disagreeableness. I'm a very disagreeable, highly assertive individual. So one of the things that I will say, and you know how I am, I look at the world and patient issues and just human issues a lot of the times through the lens of assertiveness. I will say, as far as like what's toxic and what's not toxic, and whether I express my frustration or whether I express this or I say this or I react this way to that, one thing I will never do is let somebody who lacks assertiveness define to me what is toxic. So if a person is very passive and they have no ability to be assertive, and they think that I'm being aggressive because they're a very, very passive individual, I automatically discount that person's opinion. It doesn't mean much to me, if that makes sense. Because I'm a very blunt and assertive, direct type of individual. And it's like, you're going to have to just kind of get used to that if you're working with me. I'm not going to ever raise my voice or be angry or aggressive to anybody, but I say the truth, and that's what it is. Deal with it, kind of thing. So that's what I thought of when you were talking about that, is just the lens of assertiveness. So, which is tough when you're a disagreeable person like me.
I think that's a good kind of segue into the fragile masculinity portion too. And it's so often, some of those things that we've been told, you know, being scared, that's a female emotion. Being sad, that's a female emotion. But being angry, then that's manly. It's tough. It's scary. Get your way, all that kind of stuff. And so it can become this fragile thing where you have these definitions that you've been given, you have these things that you've been told, and any kind of challenge to that is then seen that way as a significant challenge. And then we see a lot of those things kind of start breaking down. So how do you guys see that come out either in professional or personal side of the fragile part?
So my first job after the master's program was working in a women's prison, so I had to learn to talk soft. Very first person I ever had to come to my office screamed and yelled because I was a man sitting in office, and so I had to learn to talk like soft and light. And I did it for so long that I really know how to be loud. So when I talk to people, I talk gentle. Whether I'm serious, I'm trying to get my point across or not, I usually just talk at an even keel because that's just what I'm used to. And because I didn't go in there with a strong voice, demanding action, in a way that kind of shake the shelves, they seen it as me being weak because I wasn't as vocal as they're used to seeing a man being. And I think that's one of those things to where it comes off as fragile, right? It comes off as fragile, not because what I'm saying is wrong, it's because they felt like it didn't get their attention. And trying to balance because what I'm learning, even with my kids, is when do I need to have that assertiveness that's going to get your attention? And when do I just need to have a conversation? And sometimes when you are dealing with people, men, women, whatever it is in the general public, again, what they see masculinity as, whether it's their dads, what they see on TV, cartoon characters, whatever case it is, that's the comparison to whether we're fragile or we're toxic in other people's eyes sometimes.